bounce by Antonio Brown.
Man, no, you look like you got that second foot down, bro.
I got both of them.
No, it ain't look like it.
I tried it.
The ruling on the field is a catch.
You know I'm Tony Toe Tap. You know I'm Toe Tap.
On the football field, Antonio Brown is considered one of the greatest wide receivers of his generation. Off the field,
what do you make of the entire thing?
Well, what I make of it is that he's a disgrace, and there's no way to slice that. I can't excuse the kind of behavior that he has exhibited. It's absolutely positively embarrassing. He should be ashamed of himself. His family should be ashamed of him. His friends should be ashamed of him, and nobody should condone this kind of behavior.
Antonio Brown played football at Miami Norland High School. He played quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and punt returner, showcasing his raw athletic talent. His versatility didn't seem to matter much to college scouts though, as Brown was rated as a 0-star recruit coming out of high school. He originally applied to Florida State, but his admission was denied due to major academic performance concerns. Butch Jones, who had recruited Antonio Brown while being the wide receivers coach at West Virginia, had recently become the head coach at Central Michigan. Being familiar with Coach Jones, Brown decided that he wanted to play for him, so he enrolled at Central Michigan and began his college football career as a walk-on freshman. Over 3 seasons, from 2007 to 2009, he had 305 receptions for 3,199 yards and 22 touchdowns. Additionally, he contributed significantly on special teams, racking up 2,612 kickoff return yards and 5 touchdowns. His stellar college career earned him 2 MAC Special Teams Player of the Year awards and helped cement his status as a dynamic playmaker. And I just wanted to mention that while at CMU, Brown crossed paths with another future dominant NFL player in J.J. Watt. Heading into the 2010 NFL Combine, Antonio Brown wasn't considered one of the top prospects, but he put up respectable numbers, including a 4.5 second 40-yard dash, a 33.5-inch vertical jump, and a 10-foot broad jump. He measured in at 5'10" and weighed 186 pounds. Scouts and analysts saw Brown's strengths in his quickness, route running, and ability to make plays after the catch. However, his small stature and perceived lack of elite speed were viewed to have held him back. Many projected him to be a late-round pick, and ultimately, Brown was selected in that range, where the Pittsburgh Steelers selected him with the 195th overall pick in the 2010 NFL Draft. It's rare for a 6th-round pick to become a consistent starter in the NFL, much less to become one of the best in the league at their position, but Antonio Brown defied all odds. Within a couple of years, AB had quickly emerged as one of the league's top wide receivers. His breakout season came in 2011, where he recorded over 1,100 receiving yards and made the Pro Bowl. From 2013 to 2018, Brown was arguably the best receiver in the NFL, leading the league in receptions and receiving yards multiple times. His best season came in 2015 when he caught 136 passes for 1,834 yards and 10 touchdowns. During his time with the Steelers, Brown amassed 837 receptions for 11,207 yards and 74 touchdowns, cementing his status as one of the most productive receivers in NFL history. What made Brown so dominant was his exceptional route running, quickness, and ability to make difficult catches look routine. Statistically, he was on pace to become one of the greatest wide receivers of all time, and that is not an exaggeration. He was energetic, fun to watch, and had all of the talent in the world. However, things began to unravel towards the end of his tenure with the Steelers. Brown's relationship with the Steelers deteriorated, leading to a series of public disputes and ultimately his trade to the Oakland Raiders in 2019. Brown's time with the Raiders was short-lived and marred by controversy. He infamously clashed with the NFL and the Raiders organization over a new helmet rule, thus refused to participate in practices and was eventually released before playing a single snap.
What happens is with Antonio Brown, he doesn't think through things intelligently enough to come up with different reasons why things are happening to him. Because if he did his research, he would know that Tom Brady had to change his helmet. Aaron Rodgers also wore the same helmet that Antonio Brown wore and wants to wear now, and he's had to change his helmet. What's happening is he has no intelligent opinion or educated stance to combat what the NFL is doing.
Shortly after, he signed with the New England Patriots, but after just one game and more off-the-field issues, he was released yet again. In 2020, Brown signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, reuniting with Tom Brady after having spent that short time with him in New England. To quite a few people's surprise, Brown did make plays for the Buccaneers throughout the season, catching 4 touchdowns in total. Most notably, he caught this touchdown in the team's Super Bowl victory over the Kansas City Chiefs.
Run on the next one if you don't get it. There's the fake, there's the pass, and there's the catch for the touchdown. Antonio Brown. Just unbelievable route by Antonio Brown. It's going to be harder than it's been in the past. Antonio Brown with...
To the surprise of no one, his behavior remained erratic. The following season, in a game against the New York Jets in 2021, Brown dramatically left the field mid-game, removing his jersey, waving to the fans, and exiting the stadium.
That Tom Brady has brought to this team.
Antonio Brown, that's Antonio Brown without his uniform, we are told, without his jersey, and running onto the field.
Took off his shoulder pads. Mike Evans, O.J. Howard trying to convince him to keep them on. Obviously, they were unable to do so. He tossed his shoulder pads, stripped off his shirt and glove, threw those into the crowd, then ran across the field while the teams were still on the field, giving the crowd a peace out sign. I'll let you know when we hear something official on his status.
This was the last snap that Antonio Brown ever took in his NFL career. Since his departure from the NFL, Antonio Brown's life has been filled with legal troubles and public outbursts. These first couple of instances happened while Brown was still playing in the NFL, but I wanted to talk about everything related to football first and then get into this stuff. In January of 2020, he was arrested following an incident with a moving truck driver at his home in Florida.
It's the first glimpse we're getting of an argument that turned physical involving former NFL wide receiver Antonio Brown and a moving truck driver. The driver, trying to drop off furniture, said he was still owed thousands of dollars. Moving company officials tell 7 News Brown had already thrown a rock at the truck. You hear Brown's then-girlfriend on this dashboard camera trying to make the needed payment and calm things down.
Then don't call the police. Come on.
I am.
I'm telling you right now. Look, let me pay you the money right now. Okay. What do you want? I have Chase. Do you have quick pay?
Yes.
And then in the windshield's reflection, moving company officials say that's Antonio Brown in the orange shorts.
Stop! 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 Stop!
You want to play with us?
Stop!
You want to play with us?
Stop, man.
Why do you think you want to play with us?
Stop.
The driver called 911 as Brown paced in front of the truck.
I need to get his description. Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
He's the black guy. His name Antonio Brown, probably a footballist player, NFL player.
The driver told the dispatcher he'd been hit and his shirt torn.
He eventually turned himself into the police and faced a lawsuit from the driver. Brown was charged with burglary with battery, burglary of an unoccupied conveyance, and criminal mischief. In October of 2020, Brown was involved in another legal issue when he was accused of destroying a security camera and throwing a bicycle at a security guard shack in his gated community. He was not charged in this incident, but it certainly added to his growing list of legal problems. Similarly to those off-the-field events, Antonio Brown made headlines with his brief and chaotic stint as an owner in the National Arena Football League. In March of 2023, Brown announced his involvement with the Albany Empire, an arena football team aiming to rejuvenate the franchise. However, his tenure was marked by a series of controversies. Who could have seen that coming? Brown's time with the Empire began turbulently when he fired head coach Tom Menes, who had had success with the team during the previous season, but he was fired just days before the new season even started. Things escalated quickly from there. Brown attempted to play in a game, leading to confusion and disruption when he was asked to leave the field before kickoff. Legal troubles also surfaced, with lawsuits and accusations of unpaid wages to players and staff. His ownership and management style led to multiple firings and resignations, including those of another head coach, Damon Ware, and several players. The situation reached its peak when Brown failed to meet the financial obligations required by the National Arena League, leading to the team's straight-up removal from the league in June of 2023. His awful ownership, marked by unpaid league assessments and fines, ultimately contributed to the disintegration of the Albany Empire, an entire team made up of players and staff who subsequently lost their jobs. In addition to all of those incidents, and others that I'm not even talking about, Brown has exhibited increasingly erratic behavior on social media, leading many to speculate about his mental health. It's widely believed that Brown may be suffering from CTE, a brain condition associated with repeated head injuries common in football players. Brown himself has played into this speculation, starting a Twitter account called CTESPN, making a joke of the entire situation. On top of that, he frequently makes racial and controversial remarks on his own personal Twitter account. I'm sure more than a few of his tweets have come across the timelines of many people watching this. His behavior on social media has only further tarnished his public image. Antonio Brown's journey from high school to becoming an NFL superstar is nothing short of incredible. At his peak with the Pittsburgh Steelers, he was on pace to become one of the greatest wide receivers of all time, a player that kids looked up to and wanted to emulate. Unfortunately, his career took a sharp turn for the worse, marked by a series of poor decisions and public controversies. While it hasn't technically been confirmed, it's very possible that Brown's issues stem from CTE, a tragic consequence of his football career.
Roethlisberger from the pocket, middle of the field, incomplete. Personal foul, a flag does come in.
This drive started, was talking on the sideline the whole time, it seemed like, to Vontaze Burfict, and yes.
Oh my goodness. Brown is still down.
That's, of course, flagrant.
Today, instead of being remembered as one of the best wide receivers to ever play the game of football, Antonio Brown is often viewed as a cautionary tale known for his outlandish behavior and viral tweets. It's a sad ending to what could have been an extraordinary legacy. Alright, that's going to bring an end to this video about Antonio Brown and his sad fall from once being a star player in the NFL. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to like and subscribe, it helps the channel out a ton. Also, feel free to comment on what other NFL players' career I should cover next. Thanks for watching, I truly do appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.